Hey guys,
Hey guys,
it's Nia,
I'm Kara.
and today we're doing a book review of Now is Everything by Amy Giles. So let's get into it. Now is Everything is about an inside life of a rich teenage girl named Hadley Macaulay. Her family looks perfect on the outside, but things aren't what they seem. Her father is extremely abusive. She does everything she can just to protect her little sister from him. She falls in love with the great Charlie Simmons, but their secret relationship is revealed, and she gets caught facing even more danger in her own home. No one besides Charlie knows the truth, and after a plane accident happens and she is the only survivor, but still attempts to end her life, mystery rises and everyone wants to know what really happened that day.
Give Now is Everything 5 stars. It has to be one of our favorite books. We love how the chapters went from then to now, past the present. We just love how much dedication Amy Giles put into this book, and the writing was incredible. We love all the characters except for the dad, obviously. The emotions in this book were really good. It kind of felt like you were there with Hadley, the main character, which was in reality scary, but is what made the book so good. This is truly an underrated book, so we highly suggest you check it out.
So now we're going on to our spoiler alert part. So if you haven't read the book, you can just click out here and go read the book. But if you want to get spoiled, keep on watching.
Now we'll be moving on to favorite characters. My favorite character is absolutely Charlie Simmons. He was what I would call one of my book boyfriends. He worked so hard to survive and had to deal with such an alcoholic mother, but had such a bright and happy personality nonetheless. He treated Hadley so well and really showed how much he cared for her. The relationship happened pretty fast, but it didn't even seem that way because everything between them just seemed healthy and right. The immediate concern and alertness he had once he found out about Hadley's dad is just amazing. I was so happy that he decided to call Child Protective Services, no matter what Hadley said. I really liked Hadley too. She loved her sister so much and did everything she could to protect her, and was the strongest person. People in her life suspected things, but she kept her cool for the majority of the time, which is something I can say I would never be able to do. The only thing I didn't like is that she didn't call for help immediately, because she could have put herself and Lila in more immediate danger if they had to go through that for that much longer. Hadley and Charlie are perfect together, especially since they just have the same sort of behavior towards family life. They were so mature and strong. Even though this is a fictional book, these are characters I aspire to be. People who have the strength to carry on even during the tough situations they have to deal with.
My favorite character, hands down, has to be Hadley's little sister Lila. She was super brave throughout the book because even though Hadley tried to hide the fact that her father was hurting her, she still knew. Lila was so brave. She knew everything that was happening, but still figured out how to find happiness with everything that was going on at home with her family. My other favorite character is Hadley's friend Megan, especially when they did those interviews in the now chapters of the book. You could see how scared she was for Hadley because Hadley had never told her what her life was like at home. I also love Charlie, obviously because even though Hadley didn't want him to reach out to CPS, he still did because he knew it was the best for her. I loved how after he met Lila, whenever Hadley would bring up something that happened with her father, he would ask if he did anything to Lila. I just loved how much he cared for Lila and Hadley, and he wanted to keep them safe.
Moving on to favorite parts. The thing is, with this book, having a favorite part is kind of tough. All the parts of the book were sad or nerve-wracking, but made the book so good to read. This will sound bad, but my favorite part might just be at the end when multiple transitions were made from then to now, showing how Hadley had attempted to give her father a horrible allergic reaction and he wouldn't be able to fly the plane. But how she changed her mind and yet he still had a reaction and crashed the plane. It was just fascinating to see how everything all unfolded. I was just as relieved as Hadley was to know that she wasn't the one who caused her father's death and that the airport was responsible for it. But I was not at all sad that her father died. It was actually a relief, honestly. I was probably most relieved that Lila wasn't on that plane because I don't know what I would do if that poor child didn't survive the crash.
My favorite part was when Lila did her dance on the stage. It was hilarious, and I found it so funny that the teacher didn't figure out what she was dancing to. But after the dance, the part is very scary because the father gets so mad after the performance because he thinks it's Hadley's fault. Hadley and Lila have to race home. She sends Lila to her room as soon as they get home because she knows that her father is going to do something bad to Lila. So she tells her father that it's her fault. It gets so bad that he shoves her down to the floor and then kicks her until she has lots of bruises. That part is so sad because at first you really think it's so nice and funny, but what the father does makes it a horrible part.
Now is my least favorite part. My least favorite part was definitely when Hadley's dad threw her pills into the fire and burned her with a fire poker. He is hands down the worst character, and there's no debating about it. Every time there was a part with Hadley's dad losing his temper, I would just shake with anxiousness and hope it ends soon. He was just so horrible, and what made it even worse was that the children hated him and didn't feel comfortable in their own homes. It was also so crazy having to read and kind of guess when he would be at his worst and best, because there shouldn't be a worst or best. It just goes to show that we shouldn't believe everything we see on the outside and in pictures, because the family was pictured as the rich and normal family in the neighborhood, when really the kids were living with a mom who stayed with an abusive husband absolutely for the money and to avoid drama, and a father who didn't love his kids and gave them physical and emotional pain in so many ways. I understand that in the past, Hadley's father was a big kid and was bullied because of it, but it is absolutely no excuse for his horrible behavior. This is not even real, but it gets to me anyway because there are children who deal with this every day and we don't even realize it.
My least favorite part is when Hadley's father threw Hadley's pills and Charlie's sweatshirt into the fireplace and then hit her with the fire poker. This part really made me want to cry, and he didn't even care about what she said. He just assumed that she was pregnant. That part made me so mad and sad because her father just tried to make everything fine on the outside, but everything was horrible on the inside. It really makes you realize that you shouldn't always assume that everyone always has it okay at home. And I think a lot of people should read this book to learn some people don't always have it okay at home. It's also very crazy to read this because you can really tell her emotion throughout the book, and I love how Amy Giles wrote Hadley's emotions so well. Make sure to check out the links in our description to spread awareness on this issue. Overall, this was an amazing book. We loved it so much. This book really told a great story throughout the book on abuse and how you don't always see it. We really suggest reading this book. It was a great book with lots of emotions. We really loved all the characters, especially Hadley's best friends. At first, I didn't know about the abuse, and I just loved how when they finally found out that they were so worried about her. This book is also an ama- this book is also amazing because of how brave they made Hadley throughout the book. She was there for her sister and tried to make sure that her sister didn't have to go through what she had to go through. We really hope you read this book. It's amazing. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below some books we should read and review. We hope you enjoyed this video. Bye, guys.